Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of The Hard Count. I'm Michael Emami, and I had the opportunity to speak with Miller Mahan out of Pottsville, Arkansas. Mahan is a member of the 2025 class and currently stands at 5 foot 10 inches and 140 pounds. Mahan also plays basketball, and I had the opportunity to discuss both of his seasons in both football and basketball, as well as his relationships with his coaches and development through his program on this episode. All right, everybody, here is Miller Mahan. Enjoy. So tell me a little about your program, obviously, right now and where you are within it.
Um, well, right now it's obviously not football season anymore. So right now I'm playing basketball.
You're playing basketball now?
Yes, sir.
So have you been, so in terms of training, do you feel like kind of basketball and football are similar in ways or different in others?
Um, well, in some ways, like basketball is good for conditioning and it kind of helps me stay in shape. But we don't do any lifting in basketball, so I don't really feel like I'm getting stronger. But I
Okay.
feel like it's good for my conditioning.
So how did this past season go for you? Have you played at all this year in terms of football? Did
Uh,
you?
yes, sir. We finished 8-3, I believe. Right now I'm an eighth grader, and I played when it's junior high, so eighth and ninth play together. And I started with the ninth grade team, and I feel like I did pretty good.
Yeah, so what does kind of your training regimen look like for football on a given week? What do you kind of do to prepare yourself for the
Um,
season?
so I try to work out at least 2 times a week. Usually on Fridays, I don't go to school because it's a virtual day for me. So on Fridays, I'll go to the field and try to throw the ball, do some conditioning, and then on like a Tuesday or Wednesday, that's when I'll do most of my lifting.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that sounds good. So do you have any role models, any quarterbacks that you kind of look up to, or anybody that you kind of model your game after?
I feel like I try to like Patrick Mahomes. I feel like he does a great job of being a leader on and off the field and like make everybody around him better. But I feel like my play style would be like similar to Lamar Jackson because I like running the ball quite a bit whenever I can.
Right. Yeah. And so how have your kind of your going into your personal life here, how have your parents kind of influenced you?
Um, my parents, so they've just been really supportive of me, like all through my sports, and like they do a great job of helping me find trainers and all that stuff and getting me around to practices and games.
Okay. All right. So do they drive you around and all that, take you to camps and showcases and stuff like that too?
Yes, sir.
And so what's kind of how have you kind of developed so far? Obviously, because you've been playing for a little bit. So have you kind of developed from kind of being really little to obviously where you are now? How have you improved or
Um,
changed?
so all through like my third to sixth grade seasons, I I've started off playing running back, and then through some conflict within the parents on our team, we lost our quarterback, so I got moved to quarterback, and then I couldn't throw the ball until like seventh grade. I started throwing the ball a little bit, and I started working really hard to quarterback, so I knew that's where I was going to end up. And I feel like I've came a long way and got to where I'm pretty solid with my throwing game and running.
So how do you go about balancing sports and academics?
Um, I got right. Obviously, I try to put my academics before my sports. I usually go to tutoring like 2 days a week, and sometimes I go to tutoring and then walk straight over to the field or the gym for a basketball or football game.
So yeah, so do you have any hobbies outside of football right now? Anything that you kind of do for fun?
I like hunting and fishing quite a bit.
All right, yeah, big hunting and fishing state there as well. I'm from Missouri, so we kind of have the same thing going over here. So kind of tell me a little about kind of what you want a college to know about you. I know you're a little young at this point, but in terms of kind of what they want to know about you from a personal standpoint and from an athletic standpoint, what would be the first thing that you would want them to know about you?
I would like college to know that just I'm always like I would always like work my hardest, and I'm to try to be a leader and just help everybody around me be better and like push everybody around me to their full potential.
And so tell me a little about kind of the relationship you have with your head coach and your staff over there. How do they kind of go about kind of developing you, and what's kind of your relationship with them to this point?
I have a pretty good relationship with our head coach and the staff. All right, my head coach, ever since I've been in seventh grade, he's been kind of like inviting me to some of the workouts with the older kids to kind of prepare me for as I'm getting older. And so I feel like he's just really been there for me the whole like always have a good relationship with him. And he like pushing me. He knows like my full potential. He knows what I can do, and he never settles for anything less than that.
Have you had obviously have you had the same coach for several years, or is this kind of a new coach for you?
This is a new coach. They like last year we got a bunch of new coaches and they all got moved around. This is my first year with this coach.
All right. All right. Awesome. Awesome. And kind of second to last question here. So, kind of reflecting on your career to this point, obviously, as you said, you're an eighth grader, but reflecting on your career to this point, what's kind of the best moment for you through your entire kind of playing career, or kind of a moment that stuck out with you, or kind of something that that's been great for you to this point? One single moment.
Um, well, probably one game this year we went to 5 overtimes and we pulled out a game of 48-50, and we just all had to stay strong. Everybody was tired, but we all had to lift each other up and just stay in it.
That sounds like a really really tough game. It reminds me, I think, of that Texas A&M game where they went to like several overtimes back then. That's really really cool. Yeah, definitely a lot of hard work there. And so, kind of this last kind of fun question here for you. What if you were to get drafted by an NFL team? What would be your preferred team you'd want to get drafted by?
Probably the Cowboys because it's fairly close to home. And that's just always been one of my favorite teams that I've always liked watching.
All right. Well, thanks so much for coming on, Miller. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. You have a good one. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in and checking this episode out. That was Miller Mahan. If you'd like to follow him, his Twitter account is at MillerMahan5. I'll be sure to post his huddle link and information below as well, so you guys could check it out. If you'd like to contact me, my Twitter account is at Emami Michael, and both my Facebook and Instagram are both at The Hard Count with Michael Emami, so give those a follow and check those out as well. Also, it'd mean a ton if you subscribe to the YouTube channel too, so be sure to do that. And special thanks to, obviously, Miller for coming on, taking time out of his day to come on. I really appreciate that as well. All right, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in and checking this episode out and listening. This has been The Hard Count. Do you have what it takes to go D1?